So, today's episode is going to be about Stoicism. It's going to be about some amazing thoughts, I guess, or at least hope. And yeah, I really am looking forward to going through this, but we're gonna do this after the intro. As always, as we are always doing that. And with that being said, hello, welcome back to the next episode of the Self-Development with Tactics podcast, but I do not want to waste your time and want to go through it right ahead, Today's actually a little bit of a strange weather, I know, because I'm just seeing that I'm dark, therefore I'm pointing it out. But yeah, let us see. To lack feeling is to be that, but to act on every feeling is to be a child. Brandon Sanderson, The Way of Kings. Please check out the description, or that description actually, because there's a lot of free things that you can get. First of all, there is the link to the podcast, because this is actually a podcast and a YouTube quote-unquote show. On the other hand, you're also going to get 3 things, as I said. For example, the free PDFs of the things that I've highlighted in this episode or in other episodes. If I've highlighted something, then it is going to be in a tiny PDF. You can download it and print it and share it and do whatever with it. And there is everything in this that I've gone through in this episode, which is pretty amazing, because some people like to listen, therefore we're having a podcast. Some people like to watch, therefore we're having the YouTube videos. And some other people like to read things. And this is why there's also the free PDF. And there's as well some music, so if you do want to have some background music in this video, then please also check out the 3rd link, or it's actually, I think, the 4th link, but 3rd section, something like that. And there's also just different tracks to choose from, and they're all, I think, an hour long, so you should be fine. Everything should be fine, should be good to go. And yeah, enjoy the episode, and I'm gonna see you. What? I don't actually know what this word means, but a succinct quote from one of the main characters in the epic fantasy novel, The Way of Kings, that I thought might fit particularly well in this subreddit. Yes, indeed, I think it does. And I'm also gonna have to say so, I don't know. We all have feelings, and sharing our feelings, I think, is a good thing. I would say so. Stoicism is helping me finally grow up. I have been doing so well so far in university, getting grades much higher than I ever predicted, and have so far been the best in my class. This isn't normal for me, because before this, I never cared for education. I was never good at it, or anything else for that matter. I fucked up with an assignment I submitted yesterday and left in it website links to studies and journals. They had nothing to do with my assignment, but they weren't referenced. So I don't know how big of a fuck up it is, and if I could get done for plagiarism or anything. I don't have a lot in life. I do actually feel like reading the whole one. I don't know why. I don't have a lot in life. Right now my family are in pieces, so I only have my sister. I don't have friends or a boyfriend, no hobbies. Being a jack of all trades with a crappy attention span didn't get me far with any of them. I've been dealing with pretty severe mental health issues for the last 10 years and learning to be above it and gain functionality, as it's been going really well. My education has been everything to me for the last several months, but I let personal shit get the best of me and made a huge mistake as a result. It happens to all of us. We are juggling so many balls, we all do, and this is also one of the reasons why I think understanding other people is a good thing. I don't know, if he or she isn't replying immediately, either just he or she's just not interested in you, which I think we honestly kind of have to admit at some point, I guess. On the other hand, I think we all have just so much shit to do, and we all just structure our day how we want to structure it, I would say. So I don't know. We should all, I think, be a little bit more, not also forgiving. I would say also forgiving, but just, I don't know, more empathetic, of course. Because yeah, understand other people, try to understand yourself, and I think your life is going to be a little bit better. Pretty much all day I've been crying, literally sobbing over my mistake, thinking this is that. This is it, that I failed. I kept going over and over and over the entire scenario the last few weeks, all the bullshit that led up to this. But now I've come to the realization that it all really just comes down to it being my fault. I should have been more prepared. I should have just pushed the personal shit aside and just gotten on with things. But I let it get the best of me. Normally without Stoicism, I would be in pieces and have zero ability to self-regulate. I would blame issues left, right, and center. Is it neglecting? I've been doing that a lot. NGL, I don't know what this means. But stopped sooner rather than later. But after years of practicing it, I'm seeing the drastic changes it's made to me. Now with Stoicism by my side, I accept the mistake I made. I realize I can't go back and change it, so there is no point in blaming. And yes, indeed, there is no point in blaming anybody but yourself. unless there really is somebody to blame. Like if there's a hurricane, don't blame yourself. Like it doesn't make any sense. I do think, and have to say, for me at least, even though people are gonna just say different stuff, of course, they just for at least for me, like there has to be a border. Like there has to be like some sort of a top line thing. You know, when it is a tsunami or some shit, it's not your fucking fault. If you just fucked up, it is your fault. And I think it is really important to get the perspective right there, because in either way, it is not good, I think, to just be extreme in thinking and streams and all that shit. But yeah, I really should have just pushed the person should have, oh, I've read that already. Blah, blah, blah. I'm taking responsibility and owning up. It was my fault. I accept that wholeheartedly and know next time I absolutely cannot put myself in a position where I make such a goddamn stupid mistake. In the past, I have never been able to own up to my mistakes. I would push the blame onto something else as long as I was safe. Not sure why I did that, but I did it a lot. But now I realize that it is nothing else, it's me. Yes, indeed. But I'm gonna go ahead. Nice story though. Also well written, I would say. How I found Stoicism and what it did for me. And it seems to be 2015, but it is long, as this thingy thing there indicates, which by the way is a cool thing. What are some best beginners books? I don't know. I think every book is a beginner book. I don't know. I think, yeah. You know, just because somebody says like, okay, this is a good one to start with and that one is a good one to start with. Of course, if it is a person that just knows shit, then it is just also good to believe in what they talk about and stuff. But I don't know. Only because they say it doesn't really mean that it's also going to work out as well for you as it worked out for them, or maybe just all the other people they have had something to do with, I think, and believe. For what is the good of having silence throughout the neighborhood if one's emotions are in turmoil? Which is something by Seneca. And the funny thing is, at this point of time, at this point of time of age or in age or whatnot, however you want to call it, in 2020, there's still going to be hundreds of thousands of people, even probably millions of people that are complaining about their neighbors for being too loud, for being too stupid, for just doing something, and for doing whatever. First of all, we can understand them, and we can at least try to understand them. On the other hand, it is so funny that they have been talking about it like just 3,000 years ago as well. Quite. Which I think shows that, I don't know, we have changed a lot, but we haven't changed that much, I guess. The mind that is anxious about future event is miserable. Yes, indeed. Yes, really, indeed. And the quote-unquote bottom says, this was me. And since I'm having my A-levels or my SAT or however you want to call it in a month or so, and I'm learning at this point in time, I might not be learning as I should, kind of. I'm not exhausted by learning stuff quite, which leads me to thinking, well, maybe I'm doing it wrong. But I started really early, relatively early, and happy about that. And at this point in time, I'm also just trying to summarize things, to just put it into my own documents, which I think works really well for me. If I have to read things, if I have to structure things, I think it works out quite well for me, I'd say. On the other hand, I am indeed a little bit feared that I'm doing too less at this point in time. Even though I think it's not even a month. I think it is more. But I really am not sure. And I think it is quite a month or something. So I should indeed be conscious about that, I guess. And, it's also one of the reasons. I mean, I get up at 6 o'clock every fucking single day, do my shit. Now it is 12 a.m. No, it's not 12 a.m. It's 12 p.m. or 12 a.m. It is 12 at noon, And which means that I'm having quite a lot of time left in the day for just doing the other shit, doing this cool shit. And it should be fine, I guess. It should be fine to have like 5 hours or something, I guess. I'm not sure. But yes, indeed, even though it's always going to be difficult, and it is difficult to just wrap someone's head around that. Like, yes, indeed, thinking and complaining about future events that might or might not be is dumb, but we're still going to do it, I guess. Gratitude. I don't know if this has been said before, but this is my personal theory of happy life always. Anyways, of a happy life anyways. I believe the true source of unhappiness is us wanting more, the need for more in our lives. It could be applied to almost every aspect of our lives, wanting more money, a better family, better friends, etc. I feel in today's society the concept of gratitude is not spoken about. We're not happy with the things we have. We're not happy with the things we have. We don't appreciate what's around us. If that sitting down and reflecting upon what makes us happy or what one truly appreciates is extremely important. Yes, indeed. And I also hope to share it a little bit with just the content, also the positivity and all that stuff. I think I am actually gifted with a natural positive attitude, even though I gotta have to admit, the last days have been a little bit tougher for me since I am not that happy based on the stuff that I'm doing every day. In terms of I think I could do more, but I am not doing this, which might be what the exact same thing as he talks about there. And also just some personal stuff that's not working as I want it to work and stuff. It's difficult, but it's gonna pass. It's gonna be good. In no matter way it's gonna lead, if I can say it like this, I think it's gonna be good. And I think it's gonna be fine anyway. Quite. Everything's gonna turn out just really well in the future. The thing is, of course, I could complain about things at this point in time. I could be just really unhappy at this point in time about just whatever things that might be going on. The thing is, in the future, it is gonna be just irrelevant. I know you're not gonna care about most of the things that you care about at this point in time in the future. I would say, of course, starting something right now is a super good idea, really good. In the future, you're gonna really love yourself for that. I know, but I don't know. I think yeah. On the other hand, we shouldn't also just be okay, I give a shit about the present, I only think about the future. In terms of maybe just because a lot of things won't matter in the future, being a fucking dumbass and a fucking piece of shit in the present. Not good. Don't do that. Really not good. I just really believe in, you could say reputation, but I don't feel like it is a reputation. And I wouldn't also necessarily say that it is the best word to use, I guess. But yeah. I don't know, being remembered as a good person, it's good. I like that. I want to have that. I don't, please give it to me. How to die being fully born. The whole life of the individual is nothing but the process of giving birth to himself. Indeed, we should be fully born when we die. From Erich or Eric from or Erich from. It depends. The three phases of a great life. To die without having lived is a tragedy like no other. Indeed, realizing that although you have been around for thousands of days, you haven't even lived through a single one. Even though I think thousands of days is 3 years is already 1,000 days, which is insane. Quite even more than 3 years, isn't it? It's insane. Well, you haven't even lived through a single one. It's a terrifying thought. Sadly, it's also the fates of most people. Yes, indeed. It's what happens to quite a lot of people, doesn't it? But it doesn't have to be. Friedrich Nietzsche believed that those of us who want to avoid the fate must embark on a 3-stage journey, the 3 metamorphoses of spirit. We must, as he famously wrote in a chapter of Thus Spoke Zarathustra, become first a camel, then a lion, and finally a child. Let me explain. I think I'm gonna read the whole one since it might be interesting. Fun fact, my religion teacher, who is an incredible person, shout out, you might not be seeing this, of course, but he told me about Nietzsche and he really likes Nietzsche, and therefore I also want to read it. Therefore I also want to go through it because he's an amazing person, really is. Phase 1, endure humbly. Those with great spirit must first be willing to become a camel, not a mammal, but a camel, a beast of burden. A camel represents the strong and ambitious individual who wants to take on heavy loads. It bows down and asks, what is the heaviest thing, you heroes, that I may take upon me and rejoice in my strength? It is willing to suffer and experience the weight without any self-pity or complaints. Instead, it endures it and runs eagerly into the desert. We all carry the weight of the even words, I guess, but of the world with us. Society's values, norms, expectations, responsibilities, but very few people bear them with dignity. The first stage represents the individual who is humble enough to experience the world without outright rejecting it. It's the young artist looking up to his master, the soldier standing firmly before his general. The camel understands one must first learn the rules before trying to break them. What I'm seeing there is to just maybe reflect that a little bit. Doing a lot of fucking shit and not always doing the easy shit, especially when you're fucking young, You can try out a lot of stuff. And I am also just pretty willing to try out a lot of things. Quite. In terms of different works, different people, different whatever. To just figure out what you really want to have, what's really important for you, what really is something that you need. Phase 2, rebel ferociously. Yeah. Deep into the desert, the spirit transforms itself into a lion, a beast of rebellion. The lion says no. It doesn't want to. It doesn't want contentment. It wants freedom. Yeah. It sheds off the heavy loads and prepares to fight its ultimate enemy, a terrifying dragon called Throw Salt. I'm gonna stop it there. It's gonna be fine. It's not stopping it. And now it is working. Okay. It sheds off the heavy loads and prepares to fight its ultimate enemy, a terrifying dragon called Throws Sholt. The dragon arrogantly shows off how each of his scales has a commandment written on it. Things one must or mustn't do, and tries to intimidate the lion into submission unsuccessfully. In the final act of deviance, the lion looks at Throws Salt, or whatever, in the eyes and defeats it with its most powerful roar. I will. This is the stage of the individual who wants to rule his own existence and fight the ruling system itself, the pre-given values, the commandments, the social norms, the blind faiths, the gods, the parental expectations, everything. Tired of carrying the weight of the world, he wants to separate himself from it and affirm his own existence as a unique self. The lion is our desire to say, I'm here, I'm alive, and I choose, as well as all the excitement and power that comes from actually doing it. What the fuck? Some bug in my fucking... Please go away. Thank you. I don't want to kill all these things there, but I think there's more of them because there's another one there. Please fuck off, man. What are you? Please fuck you. Well, anyway, makes me really uncomfortable. Finally, which is the phase 3, create unconditionally. Finally, only the greatest of spirit are able to come to terms with the final challenge, becoming a child, a beast of creation. Rebellion makes you feel alive at first, but it also brings with deep existential crisis. Now that the lion has liberated itself from all the heaviness of the world, there's nothing but dust and debris in its place. This is exactly why it must now become a child, because where the lion says no, the child says yes. His own yes. The spirit of the child, having separated itself from a predetermined existence, now wills its own will, and wins its own world. The child embodies a brand new start, a new beginning, a wiser second chance. Like an architectural genius, he builds up the space that the lion had freed, only this time with values that are truly his. This is a stage of absolute creation without any resentment, hatred, or bitterness, and genuine fascination towards one's own world. The child is the spirit's attempt at being its own god. This is the irony that both Fromm and Nietzsche were trying to portray through the texts and that I have tried to summarize today. If you wish to die being fully born, you must first fight to become a child. Full disclaimer, this is part of my weekly newsletter, which I started recently, the Polymath Spill. If you're interested, it is a type of content you'll probably like to, probably like some one of the other as well, or something, yeah. I am, please fuck you, man. Really makes me uncomfortable. Just also because I know that there might be more somewhere. Because there's also another one and I've been just thinking like, and I actually have to kind of clean my room for once again. Because I don't do it as often as I should be doing. I dumbass. But yeah, nevertheless. Gonna end the episode there, so... yeah. Thank you very much, I appreciate it. The question of the day is gonna be, please do something for the people. Please do something that makes somebody feel good. But yeah, I wish you the best health and happiness and also success, and also hope that you're going to remind yourself and you're going to be remembered. This basically means your legacy, basically means you're going to be remembered, basically means your legacy. And yeah, 3 other questions that I have you are, why are you here? What are you trying to change and what is bothering you the most? These 3 questions hopefully going to show you your purpose and maybe even a business idea, which is a good thing. And with that being said, hopefully going to see you the next time. Thank you very much. Sorry for this short of an episode, but I gotta have to cook, gotta have to cook. And yeah, gonna see you the next time, I at least hope.